So we're going to go talk to Mike Amundsen. He's the Director of API Architecture at CI Technologies. He's going to talk to us about the movement towards microservices. So tell me about microservices. These are fairly new to a lot of folks. Why don't you describe how they work and what they are?
Yeah, so microservices are small, sort of independent or autonomous bits of software. They might handle one particular task or one particular set of tasks, and you can release them without having to control the rest of the system. So I can release this part faster than another part. And that gives us this opportunity to start changing the scale or the way the system works together. And now we have lots of small autonomous teams, maybe 5 to 15 people. And those teams have the control over their domain or their services, and then they talk to the rest of the system through these APIs, these interfaces. And what's really incredible about this idea is that they can work at their own pace using their own tools and their own platforms without having to get permission from another part of the organization.
How do you manage that? How do you assess who's doing what, I guess?
This is why you're seeing dashboards and all sorts of other things about OKRs, objective keys and results, and KPIs and all these other things to create the kind of radical transparency inside an organization that makes it possible to offer this autonomy and responsibility without losing control of the final product. So we need this transparency as a way to put this together.
So tell me about an example when microservices worked for a big or small company.
Yeah, so I worked with a company that was basically a sort of a content management company to a lot of film and other organizations. And they were able to build things in these very microservices sort of small way and assemble them in lots of ways. And they were able to turn that feedback into a feature or get that idea to install faster than their larger competitors and became sort of dominant in this small market space. So this idea of having small services isn't just the size of the service, it's the ability to leverage it into products and products that customers want that are really, really important.
So how can enterprise get a piece of this? How can they try this?
Yeah, so the lesson from that is not really how large your organization is, but how you organize it and design it. We see a lot of companies using sort of accelerator type organizations inside a large company. That means they get that same sort of startup, small teams working quickly, teaching everyone how they can start to add innovation in without having to be somebody special. It's like an everyday occurrence, and that's what we learn from these small companies that are really agile.
Mike, this has been fascinating stuff. This is great.
It's great to talk to you, John.
So why don't we head back into the show?
Absolutely.
All right.